Hello, this is Shade Ketchum, and welcome to Mega Man Battle Network.
Hey, how you doing? Let's hang out for a bit.
Sure. So, let me get one thing straight. I love Mega Man, especially Mega Man Battle Network. But I've recently seen some Let's Players and streamers. Way to interrupt me there. I've recently seen some Let's Players and streamers, one in particular, who was having trouble with the game. But in my opinion, it was mainly coming down to their own personal, just little quirks in how they were playing. So, I basically want to show a little bit of a guide to get through Mega Man Battle Network.
Take it away, operator.
You got it. And show you just how easy this game can be. Or rather, well, not really easy. But at the very least, it's easy enough to follow along. And obviously, yes, I've been playing it. Why wouldn't I be? Lan, wake up! I'm not going to be putting on a voice. If you don't get up, you'll be late for school. PET Net News. World 3 crime on the rise. And yes, it is pronounced World 3, not WWW. It says the World 3 plan to control the net might be starting. Sleep. You and me both, Lan. I also just cherish my sleep. What little I get. You've got mail from Dad, too. Look. Sorry I couldn't get off work Sunday. I'll be home soon. Here's a present for you, it says. There's some battle chip data attached. I was just having a great dream, too. I'll expand the chip data, so check your PET later, okay? And yes, I have the filter off, so that it looks like it did back when it was released on the Game Boy Advance. Because this is how it should look. The pixelated art style is charming. But meet our protagonist, Lan Hikari. And meet our other protagonist. Lan got his PET. Press select to see chip data and read mail. Lan got an AI navigation program, MegaMan.EXE. Lan, good morning. Morning, Mega Man. If you need to talk to me, just push LB. Okay, let's get to school. Lan, check your mail again. I know I just told you, but check it again. Alright, let's get to school. Press start, and you can select many things. But yes, if you've never played Mega Man Battle Network before, this song will drone in your mind for the rest of the series, or at least most of it. My mouse is on the screen. Okay. It's still a little early to go to bed. Lan has hidden some test answers in his bookshelf. Hope that Mom doesn't find it. She probably will. Your PC. If you jack in here, you can send Mega Man into the net. Lan's secret tools are hidden here. These clearly will not be important for anything later. Also a poster of Mega Man Legends. This panel controls all the electric items in the house. This TV is too old to have a jack-in port. A very attractive stand, chosen of course by Mom. Really? Mom loves to collect all these plates, because of course she does. That's not a plate, Lan, that's a doghouse. Good morning, Lan. Morning, Mom. Breakfast is on the table. You have time to eat? Always. Lan eats a hurried breakfast. Yum. Lan found a chip under the plate. Lan got a chip for Recov 10A. No, I'll be late. What do you do exactly? Because in every one of these games, you don't seem to have a job. Something in this pot smells really good. Yum. The pies that Mom makes in this oven are the best. The refrigerator's filled with food. A simple touch like this vase really cheers the place up. Yeah, Mega Man, hang on. Lan, you're late. Uh-oh. Mail looks grumpy. No one asked you to wait for me. Did you just say something? Come on, let's go. Why do we always have to walk to school together? Silly, because we've always got so much to talk about. She means she's got a lot to talk about. You just listen. Quiet. Have you heard about the oven accidents? People's ovens have been spitting fire all of a sudden. I bet it's another World 3 virus on the loose. You're just imagining things. Maybe. Well, here we are. Let's get to class. So yes, if you have never played Mega Man Battle Network, or even watched anything of it, it is quite different from your typical Mega Man experience. It is not a 2D side-scroller. It is an RPG. Also, it is not connected to that world in any way. Mega Man Classic, Mega Man.EXE, Mega Man Zero, Mega Man.EXE, and Mega Man Legends all take place in one world. But Mega Man Battle Network takes place in its own separate world. The only other series connected to it is Mega Man Star Force. We have some time before class starts. Let's chat with everyone. But yes, as an RPG, the gameplay is quite different. It's quite simple as well. Move around with the analog stick, or back in the day it was the D-pad. You can still use that if you're comfortable. As Mega Man has said, press the LB to talk to him. That sound you just heard was me pressing the RB button. That'll be used for something later. Moving around just walks, but if you hold down the B button on your controller, or I guess it would be the circle button if you're using a PlayStation controller, he will roller skate around. Pressing the A button on anything will examine it. The teacher's desk, there's no chair. Or it will talk to someone. Morning, Lan. Dex was looking for you. He's too big to be in elementary school, you know. Scary. Pressing the select button, since I'm playing the Mega Man Legacy Collection, will bring up a number of different things. The Buster Max mode, which I'll talk about later. The button configuration, simple and explanatory. Display settings, border settings, which are the things you will see on the side of the screen there. The sound settings, a return to title screen, and just quitting, obviously. You know what? Let's go for you. That's nice looking. But yes, if you press the start button, you have a multitude of things. You have your folder with all your battle chips. We'll talk about this later. You have a library which keeps track of all the battle chips in the game. You can press LB to go up faster, and RB to go down faster. There are a total of 175 battle chips. You're going to be collecting for a bit if you want to get them all. Mega Man, well, as he says, this is my status. He has 100 hit points, and he has specific stats there. His armor, his attack, his rapid, and his charge. He also has a level, which doesn't really matter to anything. It'll go up as you fight viruses, but there's nothing really to say about it. If you press Y, you can download a chip. This is exclusive to the Battle Network Legacy Collection, and you probably don't want to do that. At least not right now, considering they tend to be very powerful. But, as it says, can only be used once for that chip. We'll get into how to power up Mega Man later. The mail is exactly what it says. Your email that you get throughout the game. Here's the message from Dad that Mega Man read off earlier. And it gives us a battle chip, Cross Gun C. And here is what he said about the World 3 news, the net news. And yes, it is pronounced World 3. This was confirmed in the anime series. And yes, there was an anime series. Key items are exactly what they say. Items that are important to the story and cannot be discarded or used in any way, except when it's important. Land's terminal program MegaMan.EXE is installed in this PET. Network is for online play. This specifically refers to two things, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Save is exactly what it says. You just save the game. Return exits out of there if you don't want to press the start button for some reason. Yeah, I don't want to do this right now. The network is for two things. One is for trading battle chips. There's not much reason to do this in the first two games, but from the third game onwards, it's practically necessary for 100% completion. The other is for PvP, or player versus player, if you want to fight other players online. I will not be doing either of these as we go on. But as Mega Man said, we have to talk to everyone in order to progress things. But let's also examine the environment. You wish to ask moi, Madame Yai herself, about PET? No. Suit yourself. It's fine, you can still say that. Curiosity is a virtue. It also killed the cat, Yai. Okay, listen up good. PET is short for Personal Terminal. It's a portable link to the net, see? Kind of like a cell phone that does a whole lot more. Gee, that doesn't sound familiar. You can send mail, use electronic money, and read textbooks. The Navi program inside helps if you have a problem. You have one of your, yeah. There will be occasional mistakes in me speaking. You have one on your PET too. Wasn't it called Mega Man? Yes. These books are all by Miss Mari's favorite author, Dr. Yasu's Guide to Virus Busting. Looks interesting. Fun fact, Yai is a character, or rather based on a character, from the Mega Man Legends series. She is specifically one of the 3 girls who asks you quiz questions in Mega Man Legends 2, if anyone remembers that. Capcom, give us a Mega Man Legends Legacy Collection so people can experience that. Land's desk. The drawer is full of junk. Mail's desk. Wow, it's so clean and organized. And yes, there are obviously computer-based names, like, as in puns. If you're familiar with Ace Attorney and its naming scheme, this is kind of no different. I'm not going to explain what LAN means. Just, like a LAN network. In fact, in the Japanese version, LAN's first name is instead Neto. And his surname, Hikari, essentially translates to light. Kind of like Dr. Light from the classic Mega Man series and MegaMan.EXE. And mail, email. Simple. Although, for some reason, the English dub of the anime opted to give an extra U at the end of her name and pronounced it as Melu. No idea why. These look like the 5th graders' desks. Somebody carved graffiti into this desk. I love Guts, man. This desk seems a little big for little Yai. And nothing else. Whoa, no way! And I was like, for real? This game was made in, or rather released in, I believe, 2001, so, some of the dialogue is going to be a little dated at times. A class notebook. Handwriting this bad must be Dex's. A cleanup schedule. I hope I don't get bathroom duty. Because, yes, students in Japan tended to clean their classrooms in the school. If I remember that detail correctly. Quite different to America, where trash is all over the place. There's nothing in here. Wait, there's weird bugs crawling out of the dirt. The 5th graders are studying ants for science class. That frog in the cage is looking at me. Gee, it's creepy. He's staring at me. I thought we were supposed to study him, not the other way around. There's a surprising amount of flavor text in this game. Lan, you heard about the World 3's plan to control the net, yeah? Huh? They say the World 3's making a virus to control the net. Then they'll control everything. Schools, companies, the army, the sandwich factory, the cheesecake factory, all the factories. Then everything would have to be the way they want it. No way, man. Not if I can help it. Yeah? Talk about scary. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Shoot a missile at them? Man, yesterday our home oven started spitting fire. Lan, you can't leave now. Class is about to start. But I don't like class. Who does? School is pointless in this day and age. College degrees will get you nowhere. I've been waiting for you, Lan. I challenge you to a duel. To a net battle. This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! You're wimpy Mega Man against my Guts, man. I heard that. Net battling isn't allowed, you know. Aw, stuff it. You sure I got a big mouth for such a shrimp? We're not bothering anyone, are we, Lan? Well, I guess. Shrimp! That's no way to talk to a lady. Ah, the classic Saved by the Bell. Oh man, class is starting. After class, Lan, be there. Behind the school. At the sandbox. Where everyone can see us slap each other because that's how classroom brawls work. Let's begin class, shall we? First period is virus busting. Who's read net news? I did. It said World 3 crime is on the rise. Very good. And extra marks for checking your net news. Of course, you should know that too, Lan. It's important that we all know how to fight viruses. Ha! I'd like to see a World 3 virus take on me and Guts Man. Dex and his silly little Guts Man. What did you say? Relax. Why would the World 3 bother you anyway, Dex? Why you? Lan! Quiet in the class. Today, we'll be using the common virus called a Metul. Or a Metar, as it's called elsewhere in the series. Jack in your PET so your NetNavi can access the net. Lan, she said to jack in. Press RB. Yeah. Lan, jack in with RB. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yes, I'll do it. Press RB to jack Mega Man into the net, or the cyber world. It looks like everyone's Navi is online. Okay, I'm releasing the Metul data now. Everyone ready? It's kind of cute how they have desks for the Navis as well. Okay, let's have a demonstration on how to delete viruses. This tutorial surely won't get old if we play it in every single game. Will it? Yeah, I'll read this, but, If I ever do the later games, I'm probably going to skip the majority of the tutorials because it is quite literally the same thing in every game, aside from maybe 1 or 2 details. When fighting, you must first send chip data to your Navi. You can choose the chips to send in this window. Chip icons are shown at the bottom of the setup window. From here, you can choose which chips you want to send to the Navi. See those arrows? This shows the chip data you have selected. It shows the attack rating. This is the virus's hit points, or HP. It shows how tough this virus is. You can normally only send 1 chip at a time, but you can send multiple copies of the same chip, such as 2 or 3 cannons. This will let you use more weapons and fight much better. Okay, now we'll choose which chip data to send to the Navi. Select with A. Press RB to see an explanation of a chip. So, to summarize what she just said there, these are our battle chips. Battle chips are kind of like cards in a way, which is quite fitting since the Mega Man Star Force series uses battle cards. Pardon me, I had to get a drink. But yes, they are like cards. They will provide your attacks, your support, pretty much everything. You are still able to attack without them, but these are going to be your main forms of attack at least. Each battle chip does different things, and not every one of them deals damage. But in the case of these, they all do so. In the case of this, the cannon deals 40 damage, as you see by the number there, mini-bomb deals 50, and both shotgun and cross-gun deal 30. Obviously, the goal is to eliminate the hit points of your enemy in order to delete them. And as she said, press RB or R1 on a PlayStation controller to see a description of the chip. A nice big cannon! How helpful. Throw a bomb. Depth equals 3. That might sound confusing, but we'll get to that. Hits enemy and keeps going 1 panel. 4-panel diagonal blast! So, yes. This will become common knowledge as you play through the game of how to do this. But for now, let's do what she said. You kind of have no choice. You chose a cannon, I see. That means you can choose 1 more cannon. So yes, when you're selecting chips, there are 2 ways to do so. The first method is to select multiple of the same chip. In this case, 2 cannons. Okay, let's send this data to your Navi. Choose OK. You can either scroll over there, or you can press the start button to immediately go there. We've sent the data. Now it's time to fight the virus. Now I'll explain how to fight as we actually do so. You can move your Navi up, down, left, and right. You shoot with B, or circle on the PlayStation controller. It's weak, but fast. No, it is not. Please do not lie to me. Your HP are shown at the top left. If you go down to 0 HP, your Navi is deleted, so be careful. In other words, 0 HP is game over. Above your Navi's head is the chip data you sent. You can only use it once, so be careful. What's also important is, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. And that's the basic battle technique. Easy, right? Miss Mari, what do you do if you use your chips and the virus still isn't dead? That's a good question. Everyone look here. This is your battle gauge. It slowly fills as you fight. When it's full, press LB or RB, or L1 and R1. You can then go to the battle setup screen and choose new chips to send. Okay, let's try it. Good luck! Pressing pause here just to elaborate on what she means. I don't think I need to elaborate on 0 HP means death. But yes, The battle is separated into two sides of the field, each a 3x3 grid. And if you don't know what a 3x3 grid is, it's basically a tic-tac-toe board. The left side of the screen, covered in red panels, is MegaMan's. The right side of the screen, covered in blue panels, is the enemies. Kinda weird that Mega Man doesn't get blue. You cannot move into the enemy's side of the field. Consequently, they cannot move into yours, except on specific conditions. And as she said, the battle chips are up there, above Mega Man's head. But something that needs to immediately be said, and something she just didn't choose to say, they will be activated in the order you selected them. And this order can sometimes be very important, as sometimes certain battle chips' effects will only activate properly when played in a certain order. In this case, the cannon. The cannon will activate simply by pressing A, and it will fire ahead, doing 40 damage. That's about it. Pretty simple. And as she said, move up, left, right, down. You can pretty much move anywhere in the field as long as the panel is still there. And if you were paying attention to the top of the screen, the custom gauge slowly filled over time, and you can press the buttons to now select more battle chips, in case you need them. The virus we're fighting, a Metul, or a Metar, is the most common enemy in the series for a reason. It is the Goomba of this series, or the Motobug, if you're familiar with Sonic. It will stay in the row it's in, going up and down in order to follow you. If you are in front of it, it will launch a shockwave across the ground. It is slow and easy to follow, as evidenced by the panels being highlighted. The only way you should get overwhelmed by this enemy is if there's other enemies just making things difficult for you. Good job, let's go on to the next lesson. Okay, now I'll tell you about the support chips. Not all chips are weapons, as I've said. For example, a steel chip will increase the area that your Navi is able to move around in. So yes, this chip. It is also more commonly known nowadays as area grab. Since you need to get close for a sword, this would be a wise strategy. Miss Mari, I thought that we can only choose chip copies. Another good question. Look here, please. Do you see the letter? That's this chip's code. You can choose a different type of chip if it has the same code type. Please notice that Steel and Wide Sword have the same code. They're both S. You can choose two chips at the same time now. They are shown here in the order that you choose them. This will help you plan your strategy. Okay, let's try that. Choose Steel and the Wide Sword in that order. So yes, Steel, or area grab, steal left column of enemy area. In this case, it is specifically referring to an entire row. This can be very useful. The Wide Sword, well, you'll see in a minute. Choose them in order. Time to try out our strategy. Okay, let's review that strategy. I don't need to review it, thank you. You'll use A to use Steel, then the virus's area will shrink right, and you will have more room to move around. Move into the area that you took, and use the sword. This is a powerful strategy. However, be careful of the virus's attack when close. Good luck, everyone! So yes, use Steel, and do that. Wide Sword slashes as such. It will slash the panels above and below it. So in this case, where Mega Man is now, if I had slashed right here, I would have covered that entire row and gotten both of the Metals, or Metars. And doing 80 damage, it would have killed them both immediately. However, there's a key factor of steal, or area grab, that she did not elaborate on. Let's send some chip data to the Navi again. Try it yourself this time. I will. There's a key factor of this that she didn't say anything about, and the game kind of expects you to figure it out on your own. First off, as she pointed out, this is the other method of selecting chips. If they have the same letter code, in this case S, you can select them together, regardless of if they're different chips. This is a very key thing to remember. Now, if both of the viruses had been eliminated, I could have gotten this entire row, and thus backed that enemy into a corner. However, there's two important things to note about area grab. The first is that it can still deal damage. Even though it doesn't have a number on the chip, this chip is still capable of dealing damage. In this case, 10 hit points of damage if the enemy is hit by it. Obviously, this isn't very worthy of using as an attack, but it's still important to remember. Additionally, since the enemy is standing there, the panel that they're on is unaffected by area grab. I would have to use an entire new area grab to get that entire row again. The other thing to know, however, is something we'll wait to see. First, let me show you. The Mega Buster, which you use with the B button, or circle, on PlayStation controller, is your most basic form of attack. Despite what Miss Mari has said, it's actually fairly slow, and it only deals 1 HP of damage. However, the closer you are, the faster you will fire. But considering the way it is now, it's not really worth it. This is a good time to also use this. But I will wait for a second. Apologies, but this is important to show you. Or rather, I could just tell you. The other important thing to note about area grab is that it will wear off. It is not permanent. Eventually, those two panels there will eventually just go away and return to the enemy. So, don't count on it being there for the rest of the battle. Now, as for Mini Bomb, it stated its depth was 3. If you don't know what that means, and I don't blame you, the descriptions are very kind of all over the place. In this case, Mega Man will throw it with the A button, and it will hit exactly 3 squares away. So you're going to have to time that throw if you want to use it. But considering it only does 10 more damage than a cannon, it's not particularly worth it. Especially if the enemy likes to move around. Good job, let's go to the next lesson. This is the final lesson of the tutorial. For our final lesson, we'll talk about chip adding. By using chip adding, you can increase the number of chips that you can use to make combinations for improved strategies. Look at the screen. See the add button at the bottom right? If you use this button without choosing any chips, you will have to fight for 1 turn without chips, but on your next turn, you will be able to select from 10. Do this twice, and you'll have 15 chips to choose from. This should surely give you all the strategies you need. Okay, a pop quiz. For this test, you will need to use all the techniques I just taught you in Delete a Virus. Good luck! Despite what she says, you don't actually need to use all the techniques you learned. Just delete the viruses. But yes, in this case, using the add button will give you more battle chips. You will have to waste a turn, but you will get 5 more chips. MegaMan, I'm sending more chip data. Give me 1 turn. This is fairly easy. Just time out their attacks. It's helpful that the Metars will only attack you 1 at a time, and in the case of this, 1 Metar is blocking the other on the row, so that one on the top can't go down. Use that to your advantage. Now, we have gotten more chips. Okay. Let's do it again. So yes, by doing this, you will be able to get up to a total of 15 battle chips to select from, which is quite literally half of your entire folder. And my god, Lan has way too many mini-bombs in his folder. Let's take a look at some of the chips that we haven't used yet. X panel 1. Erase 1 panel. Range 1. Recov 10. Recover 10 HP. Pretty self-explanatory. If you're damaged, use this. Now in the case of this, that's a shame. But yes, let's use the 2 shotguns. The shotgun works as it's stated. It will attack the enemy and hit the panel behind them. This can be useful to attack multiple enemies, but considering it only does 30 damage, it's not that useful. However, what is important to remember is that once you select even 1 battle chip, the rest of the added chips will disappear back into your folder. They're not gone from the battle, but you will have to wait before you can select them again. If anything, it's sort of like a preview of what you're going to get. Now, why don't we show you what X panel does? It does this. X panel will strike the panel in front of you in order to create a hole. You cannot walk on this hole, but because the Metar's attacks are shockwaves that go across the ground, it can't go over the hole either, making you safe. Whoopsies. How do I do it? Interesting. There used to be an option to do it. Huh, I guess not. In the original game, you could originally press select in order to get the custom screen off, so you could see the entire field, but I guess not here. Or maybe it's a button I'm not thinking of. Anyway, that's X panel. However, it can do one other thing. If I instead had chosen to attack one of the Metars in front, it would have also dealt 10 hit points of damage. I don't believe it would have destroyed the panel, but it would have killed them in this case. But there are much better chips. Next, we have Crossgun. As stated, it is a 4-panel diagonal burst. In this case, Whoops. It will attack the enemy, and then it will attack on 4 panels that are directly diagonally left up, diagonally left down, diagonally left right down, and diagonally right up. I butchered one of those words, but whatever. The point is, it attacks in an X pattern from where you hit the enemy. As long as you hit the enemy. If you don't hit anything, there will be no effect. It only does 30 damage, but it can be useful. And as seen, the destroyed panel will eventually come back. Now, something unique about recovery chips in this game, it will pause the screen when you're recovering. So, use that to your advantage. Not that you're going to be using them much. Good job, that's all for today's class. After class. Phew. Wow, today just flew by, huh? Let's go home. Okay. I'm hungry. Let's have a snack when we get home. Hey, you don't eat. Oh. Yeah. I'm sure that doesn't mean anything. Nothing at all. You wish to hear about PET for moi once more? No. You should really try listening the first time. You should learn not to make so many long-winded explanations. You're always hanging out with Lan. How suspicious. What's the big deal? We've been friends since we were kids. When you get a new battle chip, you can't use it right away. Select folder on your menu and put it in a chip folder. Better practice when you get home so you don't forget. I hope our oven is fixed by now. If it blows up again... Lan, you and MegaMan are so good at virus busting. I gotta get me some more battle chips so I can get better. And then, we can take down the World 3 together. Sure, sir, name that I've forgotten. But yes, go into the folder. You will have 30 battle chips in order to use. Hang on 1 second. Alright, as I was saying, you will have 30 battle chips in your folder. If you go to the right, you go to your backpack, or your sack. This will be other battle chips that are currently not in your folder. In this case, press A on the crossgun C, and you can swap it out with something else. Say a crossgun J. We're gonna swap that out back. We don't have many battle chips to select from, but organizing this chip folder will be extremely important. Specifically, making sure you have a lot of similar codes. The codes will be labeled in the order of the alphabet, from A to Z. You do not want to have a bunch of codes of different... You do not want to have a bunch of battle chips of different codes. It will basically ensure you're only selecting one battle chip at a time. And that's not a good idea. There are more battle chips to mention here, but we'll get to them. For now, a certain someone wanted to fight us. Well, you got saved by the bell, Tish. But now it's time to fight. My guts man rocks. I got the latest version yesterday. Let's do it. Okay. That's the spirit. Don't be a crybaby if you lose here. I would feel bad if anyone lost to you. So yes. 1 second. lot of talking. So yes, the various other navies in this series, which is short for Internet Navigator, are based usually on a bunch of the robot masters, aka the other characters, of the classic Mega Man series. There are some occasional ones from MegaMan.EXE and Mega Man Legends, but they're mostly from the classic series. Although there will be some original ones, but we'll get to them. In this case, Gutsman is obviously based on Gutsman from the original Mega Man video game. It actually looks fairly similar, but still quite redesigned. It's nice. Anyway, Gutsman is a very simple warm-up boss for you. There is no penalty if you lose to him, and you can keep challenging decks until you win. However, you really shouldn't need that much in order to beat him. For now, let's show you what he can do. Gutsman will jump around the field. He will strike the field in order to make shockwaves, kind of like a Metar. It's a bit faster though. However, he will also do this. Eventually, after 3 or 4 of those, he will strike your side of the field in order to make an entire row crack. If you step over a cracked panel, it will break and turn into a hole. Obviously, you cannot move along the hole. However, his shockwaves can't get over the hole either. But you probably want to kill Gutsman as quickly as possible. The battle chip I selected is Sword. This is not a wide sword, it's just Sword. It does 80 damage. And it only strikes the panel directly in front of you. That's it. There is no other range to it. So, it's definitely much riskier than Wide Sword, but still a good chip. And yes, obviously, enemies will have invincibility frames as they're struck. Mainly bosses. So if I were to attack Gutsman with another sword right now, it will not deal any damage. I have to wait for him to stop flashing. Well, this is useful. Now, there is one other attack Gutsman can do. But I'm going to wait here for 1 second. That's unfortunate. Well, I suppose I'll just do this. As stated, there is one other attack Gutsman can do. But it's gonna have to wait. I want to get up to the front row just so he can... Well, I guess he's not going to do it. I can show it off later. But that's basically all there is to Gutsman. For now. Grr, you just got lucky. Today doesn't count, okay? You will have other chances to fight Gutsman throughout the story. He will be stronger. And we can show off other attacks he may or may not have later. But yes, he's just a warm-up boss. Very simple, very easy. Lang, you've got mail. And if you lose to him, I mean, you're just learning the game, that's fine, but he is the warm-up boss. I'm just saying. Wrong button. Lan, this is Dad. I made a power-up program for Mega Man. It's a little big to send by mail, but don't worry, I'll bring it home soon. You and Mega Man make a great team. Keep it up, Dad. P.S. Don't forget that whenever you're in a pinch, you can press PET's LB to talk to MegaMan. I forgot to mention something in class today. Chips don't run out when you use them, so use what you need. Also, press PET's RB to call your NetNavi in the net. This useful trick is called jacking out, and surely will not be a joke that the internet keeps making all the time to the point where it gets so old that you just wonder why people keep saying it even though it's not funny anymore. Sorry for forgetting, and see you in class tomorrow, Mari. We'll get to what Dad was saying and what Mari was saying in just a minute. Pardon me, laddie. Would you please ask me where we are? This is AC/DC Town, Den City. See? I'm not senile yet. Yes, AC/DC. Kind of like the band. Musical references are still aplenty in this. What? Can't say no to him. I'm organizing my chip folder. I wonder if it's better to use a lot of sane-coated chips. But I don't feel safe without some recovery chips, too. There are a lot of places you can jack in. Maybe here? Jack in. Nope. He's not lying. There are a lot of places you can, jack MegaMan into the cyber world. Press the RB button, and you can generally tell. If you hear that sound, that usually means no. But sometimes it's not obvious. It feels so nice to skip work and rest in the park. Hard to believe that the World 3 is plotting out there somewhere. Wonder where would be a good place to hide. Ready or not, here I come. Looks like a cool place to build a fort. Almost makes you want to go for a slide. A statue of a squirrel. How cute. Examine many things as much as you can. Because there's generally some hidden items that you wouldn't expect to find. And some of them can be quite good. You can only keep 30 chips in your folder. The 5 chips that appear in the custom screen are random. So it really is like a card deck. The data library is a reference of all the chips you know. You can use it to review any chip you've found so far. Cars. They will not do anything. They will just stop. Don't worry about getting run over. The new Metro Line station is almost finished. The Metro Line is the subway for Den City. So yes, like he said, the entrance to what will be the new subway station. This will help us get to other areas of the game. But not right now. Looks like Dex still isn't home. Let's come back later. This is Dex's house. We'll get in there later. When you delete viruses, if you fight well, you'll sometimes get a chip after the fight. What's fighting well? I know that speed is good. I came to play with Mail, but she's not home. You're so lucky to live next door to her. Mails isn't home yet. I know, you just told me. Yesterday, my stove caught on fire. I thought the whole house was going to burn down. So, you want to know about PETs, huh? No, why do you keep asking me? Oh, so you're more interested in me, huh? I'm still only 8 years old. I skipped a grade. My family has some money, and I know a lot about PETs. I'm not very good at gym class, though. You don't say. For a slight clarification, Lan, Mail, and Dex are supposedly 10 years old. So yes, Yai is about 2 years younger than her. Lan, Yai is over there. This game has a lot of funny flavor dialogue. Yai sure does have a big house. Well, she's rich. I'm not surprised. But yes, what that kid stated is true. There are a lot of places you can jack in, such as a security system designed to look like a doghouse. It will alert you of any intruders in the house. Looks like you can jack in here. Little locations will usually let you know if you can jack in. Not all the time, but usually. Jack in MegaMan.EXE. Transmit! So, while some areas in the game are a bit more elaborate, most cyberworld areas tend to be very simple. They will simply be basically just a little square. An end here, an end there, an up, and an end down. But it is worth going into as many as you possibly can. I'm a doghouse type security system program. We found that just the presence of a doghouse reduces the chances of a burglary. I'm almost like the watchdog for this home. Should we call you Rush? Mega Man moves the same way as Lan. Move in directions and hold the B button down to run. Unlike Lan on Earth, there are random encounters in the cyberworld, where you will have to fight viruses. Ah, perfect. These two are the same... No, they're not. They're the same battle chip, but different letter codes. But because they're the same chip, I can select them. And they're the same... And they're basically the optimal strategy here. Throw a mini-bomb from here, and throw a mini-bomb from here. And boom. Done. Now, as you battle, you will be judged and given a busting level. The level can go from 1 all the way to rank S. It'll be judged both on your delete time, as well as generally how much you've moved, if you've used the Mega Buster, how many battle chips you've moved, or battle chips you've used. So generally, if you can delete the enemy in as quick a time as possible without moving and as few battle chips as possible, you will get a higher rank. Your reward can be battle chips. In this case, we got a Shockwave. This is basically the Metar's attack, and it will deal 60 damage. In this case, we'll replace one of the mini-bombs we got. Probably mini-bomb L. And this is mystery data. Mega Man accessed the mystery data. Mega Man got a chip for Shotgun K. Mystery data can be almost anything. It can be key items, it can be battle chips, and it can be Zenny, the currency of this game. You can also earn Zenny through battles. It is the other reward you can earn. There is typically one piece of mystery data in every little cyberworld area. So it is worth going into these, because you never know when it might be useful. There are many other objects that you can jack into. Please try out any object that looks suspicious. These little green guys are called Mr. Progs, as in Mr. Programs. They're often very helpful, most of the time. Not a great strategy. Oh well. This is why it's good to have multiple chip codes. Or rather, to have similar chip codes, if you can help it. Because otherwise, you're stuck selecting one battle chip at a time. And we get 100 Zenny. Zenny is such a common money occurrence throughout this series. If you press the LB button, or L1, on PlayStation, while you're playing as Mega Man, you will talk to Lan instead. I haven't jacked in onto this thing in a long time. Talking to Lan or Mega Man is generally a way to provide a hint as to what you should be doing. If you press the RB button, or R1, as Miss Mari said, it'll allow Mega Man to jack out. This is a way to get out of the cyber world without having to go back to the entrance. And it can be useful if you're in a pinch and need to, like, get out of there. Maybe you're at low health. Though this mainly applies to other games. One second. Sorry about that. Let's head home. Well, Mom isn't here. But a suspicious man certainly is. Lan, welcome home. A man from Net Safety is checking our home control panel. You heard, right? About the ovens exploding? How could I not hear? That's the accident Mail was talking about this morning. Hello. We think a virus might be responsible for the accidents. We're checking every home's control panel just to be safe. I'm glad it didn't happen to us. Lan, go to your room so you won't get in the way. Let's get on the net. You're in the way. Why don't you go play in your room? I'll call you when I've made you a snack. Well, gee, I feel the love. If we just do this and this, we're all gonna die. You're not suspicious at all. Go to our room and connect to the net. Jack in. Welcome to Lan's PC, one of the only areas in the game that is completely safe from viruses. It's the inside of your computer. From here, you can access the net and other terminals. You can jack out at any time by pressing RB. I just explained that. Go through here, and you will access the cyber world. Now, the cyber world in this game is rather infamous. Because this is all it is. That background, this type of road, that's it. So it can be a bit complicated to find your way around. Some people have deemed it very confusing. And I'm not going to lie, it is. However, it's not as confusing as some people say, as long as you're paying attention to where you're going and where you've been. Sometimes it's simply just a case of people forgetting where they've been. We have someone here. Oh, Mega Man. My name is Glide. I'm Lan's classmate Yai's NetNavi. One of Yai's programs has gotten lost. I'm pretty sure that it's somewhere in the net around here. I have some pressing chores to do, and I must return now. Mega Man, if you happen to find our program, could you please come by our network? Here, please take this. At Yai. If you use that at the proper place on the net, you will be able to access Yai's portrait network. I'll be there. Oh, and if you could keep this matter to yourself, thank you. Wanna go look for the lost program? So yes, this is Glide, or Glide.EXE. One of the few NetNavis not based on a classic character. He's specifically based on Glide, one of the antagonists from the Mega Man Legends series. Specifically, the misadventures of Tron Bonne and Mega Man Legends 2. And he's probably the most underutilized Navi in the series. Unfortunately. But yes, we're supposed to look for a Mr. Prog somewhere in the cyber world. Let's go find him. Mystery data. 200 zennies. If you're wondering why the mystery data is colored differently, this was green, the previous one was blue, it doesn't really matter. Blue ones tend to be a bit more story important, but in this game, they also can tend to be a bit random. It doesn't really matter in the case of the first game. So, Don't worry about it. Just pick it up whenever you can find it. Connection to another terminal. However, you don't know the address, so you can't open it. So yes, if this were Yai's terminal, we could access it, but it's not. So, when we find one with access to Yai, we'll be able to get in there now. Okay, aside from the Metar, we now have a new type of virus to talk about. Let's use this. Perfect! The cross gun got rid of them both, ensuring a double delete. These are Canodums. Yes, their name is Canodum. They stay completely in place at 50 HP, and their only method of attack is that. If you are struck by the crosshairs, it will immediately fire on you, so try not to get hit. However, this makes them very easy to take out. And they're the ones that typically give you the cannon battle chips. However, this is also something important to note about Battle Network 1. You may have noticed I took 10 HP of damage. However, my HP is still listed as 100. In Battle Network 1, and only in Battle Network 1, taking damage in battle does not really affect you otherwise. It is only in the battle. Once you get out of battle, you're immediately restored to full hit points. This unfortunately has the unintended side effect of making recovery chips not as useful as they could be. However, this will be changed in later entries. We'll get to that. So yes, this is part of the reason why some people find this cyber world confusing. If I wasn't interrupted. Okay, this'll work. A shotgun. I just need you to come up here. And there we go. The Buster can still be useful occasionally. And we got a Met Guard. Hold A for 3-second defense. I don't need a wide panel, honestly. Ah yes, if you press the start button while in the folder, you can sort it to your specification. You can sort it by ID, as in just all the same chips together, regardless of the code. You can sort it by the alphabet, as in the alphabet of the chips themselves. So cannon, crossgun, escape, etc. You can sort it by the code. So all A's, all B's, all C's, and so on. You can sort it by the attack. So it'll be the highest attack to the lowest attack. You can sort it by the element, which doesn't mean anything right now. We'll get into it. And you can sort it by the quantity, the amount of them that you have. For now, we'll just stay with the usual. But this is the part of Cyberworld that people find so confusing. The overlay. If it looks like I should be able to get onto that road down there, I cannot. I am above it. Which I feel is fairly easy to see, honestly, just based on the fact that it's so differently colored. This one is a much lighter color, that one's a darker color. And that's kind of what you need to pay attention to. The lighter color roads tend to be the ones on top. The lower roads are the ones that are a bit darker. That'll help you in navigating a bit. World 3 pin needed to unlock. All others, be gone. The World 3 pin, huh? Mega Man, let's deal with that later. We will need a key item in order to get through here. We will not get it for a while. How fun. Ah, perfect. We can show this off. Escape. Escape from most enemies. If you use this battleship, you will run away. Running away, make sure that you are given no reward for the battle, obviously. As a side note, this is the only way to run away from enemies in this game, at all. However, you typically want to fight them, so it's a bit of a useless battleship. Mega Man access at Yai connects to the terminal. Mega Man bookmarked Yai's portrait. You can now freely enter here. So yes, now we can get into Yai's network. And this is where we will have to go once we find the Mr. Prague. A 100 zennies. That's unfortunate. Well, as much damage as possible. Crossgun. And crossgun. You can technically dodge the attack if you're quick enough. But yes, you typically don't want to run from battle because it'll give you battle chips and zenny. Why would you say no to that? I'm a net merchant. Want to see my wares? Net merchants will give you stuff to buy. Aside from battle chips, which some of them can be quite useful, occasionally, there are two major ones that you usually want. HP memory increases total hit points by 20 points. There are only so many of these in the game, but you typically want every one you can get. And the power-up powers up your Mega Buster. We unfortunately don't have what we need for this, 2,000 zennies. Our total amount is in the top right there, and we only have 500. So we're gonna want to wait for that. How did I miss that? Well, this is unfortunate. Actually, let's do this. Up to dodge that, slash, and while I can't use this sword, it will be useful to give me a more, well, useful battle chip, if I need to. In this case, all I got was, well, the recovery chips. Wah! Wah! I can't find my way home! Glide, come find me! Wah! Wah! Lan, this must be the lost program. He's kind of whiny. You're right. Mega Man, go tell Glide. He's in Yai's portrait network, right? Okay. That would be back down that way. But what's here? You can't open it. And what's beyond here? It says Dex's PC, get out. This means you. You don't have access rights. Looks like we'll have to get permission from Dex before we can go through. So yes, we can conclude that this little area belongs to Dex. We'll need something from him in order to go deeper into Cyberworld. and it will be important to remember that. Ah, perfect. Shockwave. Piercing ground wave. It is exactly what it sounds like. Send a shockwave across the ground. If you plan out your attack, if you know how the enemies work, how your attack works, you can often plan out your attack in order to make the battle go a bit more smoothly. Let's use the guard chip. Hold A for a 3-second defense. Now you do need to hold A, don't just press it. And it will guard against the attack. Unfortunately, that's all it does. It makes you briefly immune to one attack. Go up. And there we go. But if you pay attention to how the enemies work, how your attacks work, you will be able to get control of the battle very easily. Like so. Now there is a slight bit of delay in some of your attacks, so keep that in mind. For example, the shotgun, there was actually that much of a pause. I was mashing the A button to use it. You cannot use some attacks rapid fire. I want to go back for that mystery data. Ah! Perfect! Another one. This is a fishy. Yes, it is actually called a fishy. It may not look like a fish. It looks about as much a fish as Base does in Mega Man. Just by the shape of his head. But a fishy is an interesting and iconic virus in this series. It only has one attack. It will go along the row, and if it spots you, it will charge ahead. However, if you keep moving, it typically won't charge that much. It will deal a considerable amount of damage. However, it is vulnerable while it's charging. So that's important to keep in mind. So keep moving, and remember that it is vulnerable at pretty much all times, so you can use it. Another Met Guard A. Wasn't really worth it. Eh. This'll work. Now, just to wait. Use the sword. Use area grab. And another sword. We wanted to get that Canodum out of the way so the area grab could reach the full area. Not that we needed to. But yes. Let's go over to Yai's portrait network. If enemies will stop bothering us. Wow, I really don't have anything. Wow, this is really a pitiful excuse of battle chips to use. We will luckily get much better chips as the time goes on. So battle chips will go much faster. Ah, you found our program. Where is it? Okay, got it. Thank you. Please take this as a reward. A chip for Spreader Eye. Hey, cool. Lan, let's go see if Mom finished making us a snack. Spreader can certainly be useful, if albeit a bit weak. But its usefulness is mainly in how much area it covers. Unfortunately, the code is not the best. However, let's get rid of Met Guard since its only measure of defense isn't that useful. Thank you again. I'll go collect the program in a bit. You could collect him now before he wanders off even further. This portrait of Yai sure is weird. I'm hungry. Wonder if we have any cheesy poofs. Wonder if Mom made our snack. Eek! That's your mom. What could be wrong? Let's go. Ah, yes, the typical danger music. Mom, what happened? What did you burn down? Oh god, I didn't mean it literally. Lan! I was trying to make hotcakes and look, you baked them too hot. What should we do? Huh? But it was just repaired. The repairman said it was fixed, but it's on fire. I want a refund. Mega Man, let's jack in. Maybe it's a bug or a virus or something. Leave it to me. Lan, this is no time to go play. I mean, I could go get the fire department. What about that, Mega Man? Jack in MegaMan.EXE. Transmit into this oven. Mega Man? Yeah, the oven program's here, but something's wrong. Be careful. If a virus comes out, I'll send chip data. Roger that. Help us! The oven has been taken over by a virus. You don't say. Who are we? We're the oven control programs. No, we're not viruses. So I should shoot you anyway. The program that's controlling the viruses is somewhere in the oven control area. It's creating the fire. If you delete them, it should stop the fire. Because that's how physics work. The oven control area is somewhere deep inside. You can't see the viruses. They just suddenly attack. Be careful. Yes, random battles. Because of the heat of the oven, the oven network is broken up. You can maybe put it out if you get the ice block from the thawing section of the network. Mystery data. For Shotgun Q, that is not a good code. But yes, it's burning brightly. You cannot get past this for right now. Uh-oh, you were right, Lan, it's a virus. The data signature is the World 3's for sure, and it's tough. It's just like Mail was saying. Let's go, Mega Man. Battle routine, set, execute. Ah yes, the toughest virus known to man. Well, it was a hard-fought battle. This is the center of the oven network. We're being deleted. We have almost no antivirus features. We're hoping that you can delete the viruses. Beep. Ah yes, purple mystery data. 400 zennies. Like I said, color has no meaning in this. For now. Oh, there's an idea. There we go. Actually, that was not what I meant to do. Playing with an analog stick can be a bit disorienting at times. There we go. Playing with an analog stick can occasionally make you make mistakes, but it's fine. Sword B. Not great. There's no response. The program is no longer functioning. Steel A. There we go. It should be noted that mystery data in a dungeon area, like this, will disappear after you've completed the dungeon. Not all of it is too useful, but you should make sure to get as much of it as possible. However, this only applies to the optional mystery data. Anything that is, say, HP memory will not disappear, and you can still come back and get. Usually. This is the thawing section. If you use Ice Block, you can extinguish 7 fires. Please try to get into the oven control area. Then please delete the master virus to fix the oven. Mega Man got the Ice Block program. Examine a fire to use the Ice Block. If you use up the Ice Block, please come back for another. However, it will take time to recompile, so the fires that you extinguished will return. Good luck. So yes, we only have 7 of these. We have to use them sparingly. But speaking of, fire! Great balls of fire. Eek! Mega Man, what's wrong? Mega Man! Who's there? God, my voice. Don't bother calling your Navi. He just went boom. You're the panel repairman. Ha! That was just a disguise. I work for the World 3, silly kid. Saw all the other oven explosions? You're pretty smart. Me and my Navi do good work, huh? Sorry, but you gotta join your Navi. Can't escape. Lan, where's Mega Man? You can't contact him? Apparently not. Mega Man isn't responding. We have to put out those flames. What can we use? I know! Quick! The toolbox upstairs! So yes, the toolbox that Lan has in his room. You remember that? Well, despite offering no evidence to the contrary that it's even in there, here it is! A water gun! Okay, let's go. This is the best thing known to man. Surely we don't have any, like, fire extinguishers anywhere in this building. Anywhere in our house. No safety whatsoever. Thank heavens, the fire's gotten a little better now. Mega Man! Answer me, Mega Man! God, that is a strong water gun. Mega Man! Answer me! Cheesy puffs. Lan? You okay? Yeah, I'm alright. Thanks. Lan. I got a lot on my hands here. Hurry up, Mega Man. Roger. Roger, Wilco, and something. But yes, we want to go this way. There's no point to extinguishing the fires up there. At least I don't believe so. 200 zennies. This teleporter will take you to the oven control area. Be careful. I don't believe there's a reason to extinguish the fires back here. Doesn't hurt to check. Yep, nothing. There's no reason to go there. Well, that's unfortunate. I am not getting a good selection of chips. Oh well. Sometimes you just have to do that in order to finish the battle. It's fine. Let's get out of here. This'll work. A triple delete. No, not right now. Shotgun Q. I actually don't remember which way I'm supposed to go. Well, I found the way to go. Ahead is the oven control section. Someone is at the master virus. I'm sorry, someone is at the master virus with their Navi. It's far stronger than a normal virus. Be careful. There was probably one more mystery data in this area, but there's not really a reason to go get it. This is, however, a good chance to show this. Well, yeah, actually. If only I had something else, but for now, let's go with this. The spreader is an interesting chip. It only deals 30 damage. However, by striking an enemy in the middle of that area, it will cover all 9 panels. So its main use is its coverage. Well, we're up to our first real boss of the game. But yes, if you take that exact path with the flames that I took there, you will immediately get to the boss. There is some mystery data up further, but you're going to have to essentially replenish your flames, and it's honestly not particularly useful at all. It's not an HP memory or anything. At least I don't think it is. And who are you? You're a World 3 net Navi, aren't you? Your mischief ends here. Haha, so you're the Navi for this house. You think your kid operator can beat me and Mr. Match? Guess we'll just have to fight you and find out. Lan, get our chips ready. Okay. You made it this far, but now it's war. Like FireMan says, we're strong, kiddo. FireMan, let's burn. Woo! MegaMan, these guys mean business. Give it your best. You too, Lan. No getting scared, okay? Who, me? No way. Battle program set. Execute. Time for the flames of justice. This is FireMan. He is very simple. He's not as easy as Gutsman, but still fairly easy. This is a good time to mention that escape does not work in boss battles, only in regular virus battles. But yes, as for FireMan, well, FireMan has a bit of a unique quirk compared to a lot of other Navi bosses in this game. He flinches at a lot of attacks, including your buster attacks when they get stronger. But he's not that bad. If you see him doing this motion, where he's charging up with both arms, get out of his way. He will do this and cover an entire row. Unfortunately, he's also very jumpy, which is why Wide Sword can be quite useful. Like so. There is one other attack he can do, at least right now, but he doesn't seem intent on doing it. There it is. If Fireman starts doing this motion, he will start shooting bombs from his head. Look where the shadows are traveling. Oh, that's not good. I'm probably going to take damage now. I would say look where the shadows are traveling, and you will see where they will blow up. Unfortunately, he did this to me. Which is why I will have to proceed to do this in order to stun him, so I don't get hit. Now, unfortunately, those bombs will cover their panels in fire. It will go away quite quickly. But don't step on the fire or the bombs, obviously. This will be enough to kill him. But I want to wait and see if he does one other attack. Because there is one more that he has in this battle. But he just doesn't seem intent on doing it. Oh well. You'll have a chance to fight him later. How can a kid in his puny navy delete Fireman? At least I finished my mission. What do you mean? Ha! This is just the first step in the World 3's plan. What? Ha! That's right. I found the program we need for our plan inside the oven in your house. Your oven is the key to our world's destruction. That sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud. I probably shouldn't have told you that. But who cares? Soon war will start and you'll all be dead. See ya. Wait! Program? War? What's he talking about? How can my oven cause the end of the world? Sounds like a bad sci-fi novel. Phooey. Well, I'm glad the house didn't catch fire. Thank you, Lan. Hey, Lan, great work back there. Yeah, you too, Mega Man. You're worried, aren't you? About the World 3. Yeah, there's just so much I don't understand. Well, it was only the first time we fought them. But they'll never control the net. Not if I can help it. Mega Man, what can we do? We don't even know where they will strike next. We'll wait and get them when they come. Come on, Lan. Okay, but first... Mom! I'm hungry! Can I have a snack? Got any cheesy poofs? You're hungry at a time like this? Oh, come on, just a little bite. Boom tish. Nice pun. Your snack? It's there in the oven. They were turning out so well, and now they're all burnt. I've gotten tired from all this excitement. Why don't you go out and play? Come back and rest later on. If you're tired, we can hit the sack. What do you say? You don't think it'll catch fire again. However, you can still jack into it. So, just for clarification's sake, let's go back there and look. Now, thankfully, the fires are gone. So, we can move through this area quite quickly now. There we go. Could have used something more. But yes, there's not much here. And as you've noticed, the enemy encounter rate in this game is particularly high, unfortunately. This is also not an optimal place. So now I'm going to have to be dodging cannons like crazy, because they are along every row. This is probably the only situation, or at least one of the only situations, in which they're particularly threatening. But that will clear up some space for me to get something together. Like so. But yes, unfortunately, there's no other mystery data to get. Anything that was here will be gone, but it was purely optional, so that's not a big deal. So, there's no point to doing this. We can go out and about if we need to now. Mail is home now. I just finished playing with her. That's nice. It would be rude to open someone else's refrigerator. Proceeds to open refrigerator and devour everything inside. Like any good RPG. This type of control panel doesn't have a jacket port. Greenery really helps me to relax. That's an odd thing for you, Lan. That sofa looks mighty comfortable. Lan? What's up? Don't go peeking in my room now. I will peek in your room. The power is off, so I can't jack into that. There's nothing in this trash can. This toy was popular last year. It has a jack import. That is a Servbot. One of the main little guys that you see in the Mega Man Legends games, and has practically become one of the mascots for Capcom, especially if Mega Man is referenced. A big mirror. Mail uses it every morning. Mail's bed is at the top of this ladder. Mail's piano. Looks like you can jack in here. It would be quite useful to go in here. Ah, these. If I remember correctly, these are flappies. Yes, flappies, because they are flapping their arms like crazy. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot to work with. The flappies will tend to jump around an area. However, after they jump a certain amount of times, they will appear above you and turn into a giant statue and go down onto the ground. However, they are still vulnerable when this happens, so you can get an attack on them. Just pay attention for when they'll appear above you and get out of the way. However, there's one other important thing to note about the flappies. Wow, I have a lot of recover chips. I don't need all of these. There's one other thing important to note about the flappies. They will crack the panel. So, if you walk over it, it'll create a hole, obviously. Otherwise, the flappies are pretty simple. For now. They're not that bad to deal with. Ah, yes. I hope this battle theme doesn't get stuck in your head. There is a reason to come in here. We get a Recuv 50L. Recovers 50 HP. This is far more useful than either of the Recover 10s. Let's replace one with the L code. The other is this. At mail. So now we can use this at the access point to come in here freely. And to get out there once we do so. Did I check the dialogue for what he says in there? It's divided into 2 levels like a keyboard. Careful of viruses. I will be right back. Apologies. Just had to sort out something real quick. There are a few last things we can do before going off to bed. The Burning Ovens were a World 3 plot. I don't know how much about machines, but that's scary. But yes, I'm sorry about that. My microphone was falling out, and I had to quickly fix it. I wish that I could have been born rich like Yai, but I would want to keep the parents that I have. That's sweet. But yes, we can go into all our friends' houses now. Came to ask about PETs? No. Okay, then I'll tell you about myself instead. I'm still only 8 years old. I skipped a grade. My family has some money, and I know all about PETs. But I'm not real good at gym class. Would you stop telling me this? Also, hi Pikachu. It seems Yai's family is also a fan of skinning Pokemon and turning them into rugs. Nice. Another popular toy. You can jack into some of these. But not these ones. That is Data, another character from the Mega Man Legends series, who would help you save your data. An antique cupboard filled with china. The head of some mysterious animal. A very warm-looking down blanket. Must feel great in winter. Probably. A gorgeous mirror. Yai gets ready in the morning here. A portrait of Yai. Not in the best of taste. There's a jack-in port under the portrait. This is the network we went into earlier. And unfortunately, there's not much in here. A fishy virus. And a Canodum that I cannot reach. Dash! A very useful chip if you could get the hang of it. Unfortunately, it's a B code. But that's still not that bad. We will get rid of one of the mini bombs. Oh, that's an interesting layout. This is actually a good time to escape, because 2 fishies and a Canodome can be a bit of a problem. But just 2 fishies? That's not as bad. But yes, they deal 30 damage. Unfortunately, once they start charging, it can be a bit odd to line them up with each other. But if you time it right, it can still work out. Dash D. Nice. That'll be useful for something later. Come to me. There we go. Dash G. Wow, we're getting all the letters of the alphabet here. This is actually a fairly good spot to grind for dash chips, if you need to. And a Recuv 30L. That is why we came in here. Recovers 30 hit points. May as well replace that 10 of the same code. There's really no other reason to be in here. But we can show off the dash chip. Knock over all in your path. Actually, before I do that, first off, it's worth noting something. You may have seen I didn't get hit by the cannon attack despite being in the same row. It only hits you if you're in the crosshairs, so you can still be targeted by the crosshairs, but also get out of the way of them. Now, as for the dash attack, what it basically does is you get a slight wind-up and charge forward throughout the entire thing. It can certainly be useful, but keep in mind you can still be attacked while you're charging. So, yeah. And while Yai's Portrait Network does lead you deeper into the net, it's unfortunately not as useful as it could be, just because of all the roundabout you have to go through to get there. A beautiful telephone. Looks like there's a jack in for it. A very strange looking doll. Creepy. You got an Escape J. That'll be useful. Probably. Maybe. Yai tends to be a bit tough, but she's really quite gentle. I know. I hear all of her phone calls. Wow, that's invasive. Ah. Perfect. This is a perfect one to talk about. First off, let's use Area Grab just so I can have a bit more time to do this. This virus is called a Swordy because it uses a sword. It's probably one of the most iconic viruses in the series. It has 2 attacks. The first... well... the first attack is that it will slash... oh my god. The first attack will slash 3 panels ahead. However, after it does this a certain amount of times, it will start using area grab in order to get more attack range. So, a sortie virus can be a bit overwhelming. 1,000 zennies, that's useful. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Well, there you go. That's a way to do it. But yes, the sortie viruses can overwhelm you if you're not careful, because they will keep using area grab after every few slashes, and eventually, they will corner you into the back row. Their other attack is a wide sword. If you're too close to them, they will just slash that entire panel that you're on, assuming they're slashing while in the middle, aka a wide sword. So, on the surface, a sortie virus isn't that bad. But, if you're not careful, they will overwhelm you very easily, especially if they're paired with other viruses. Swords have high power but a short range, but it feels so good to charge in and slice. This is AC/DC Town Den City. I know I told you, but I gotta tell you again. There are 5 types of cannon. A, B, C, D, and E. That's also the wrong way to spell cannon. Unless you're, like... Unless it's a franchise and you're separating it across the different continuities. I wonder why they come in order like that. Gee, that's not suspicious at all. The World 3 is planning to take over the network. I can't decide where to hide. Dude, it's been how long? Ready or not, here I come. You can see how strong your Navi is in the menu. Use that screen to improve your Navi with power-up programs. If you don't power up your Navi, you'll be sorry later on. He's not wrong. The latest in game machines, you could jack into it. That is a Nintendo GameCube. Well, the game did come out in 2001, so it makes sense that the GameCube is here. Even if, as long as they don't refer to it by name, it's fine that it shows up on other consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. I'm the control program for this game machine. Games keep getting better and better. Sure keeps me busy. It depends on the game. Cross-gun K. Not that useful. That, however, is. When playing games, be sure to turn on the lights and don't sit too close to the TV. When playing for a long time, be sure to rest every hour. Ah yes, the life lessons that no one listens to. Mostly filled with old candy wrappers. If you open this door, all the stuff inside will fall out. Dex is a bit of a... Yeah, he doesn't clean up a lot. Wow, I can't examine this, surprisingly. Lots of comic books are lined up here. Some adult ones, too. I'm going to assume it means, like, more violent ones, and not anything else. But knowing Dex, I would not be surprised. You can see AC/DC Town. The power's on, so you could jack in here. You want access to my links? No way, dude. Wait until I upgrade Gutsman, okay? Yes, you cannot battle Gutsman right away now. You will have to wait. But we can access his PC right now. It's all over the place. It's also got rice balls. Or, as I call them here in the West, jelly donuts. Ah, and this is a good time to talk about upgraded viruses. As you go through the game, viruses will obviously get stronger. Some of these are basically just recolors of other earlier viruses. In this case, this is a Metar 2. However, obviously they have more HP, and their attacks are much faster. There's also one other little bit about this type of Metar from now on, but we won't see it until it is paired up with another one. Ah. And that is a B-tank in the back. For now. Hang on. A B-tank will travel up and down its row. It will then shoot a bomb after a few seconds, and it will hit a part of a row. It is usually the row you are standing on. Now, where its attack is going is entirely dependent on where you were standing when it fired. So, if you're standing here, it'll go there. And it hits with the same range as a wide sword. So if you're standing in the middle, it strikes the entire column. But if you're only standing on the uppermost or downmost panels, I realize I didn't use the chip. But if you're standing on the top or the bottom, it'll only hit 2 of them. But what's important to note is that it does not strike sideways. So yes, B-tanks aren't that bad, if you know how to handle them, and as long as you aren't overwhelmed with dodging other enemies. Little Bomb. First off, the AT for Dex, so we can access his PC now. And X Panel 3B. Quite a late one to get. This does the same thing as X Panel 1, except it covers an entire column. All 3 panels. The one in front of you, and the ones above it and below it. Still not that useful, but a Little Bomb is basically the same thing as, well, a mini bomb. However, we're not going to use it. It's basically the same range, and while it does explode in more areas than a mini bomb, the fact that it's a much different letter code from everything else we have, it would basically just take up space. Lan, class is over, and you're still studying? Unfortunately, there's not much else we can do. We do have a fair bit of Zenny, so we could go on the net and power ourselves up. Which is actually what we're going to do. And while we're at it, that's unfortunate. It'll be quite a bit of time before our chips are much better. Many dash chips. while we're here... if only it was a Cannon C. I may need to start replacing these chips. But yes, since we're here, we may as well open these up. This will access Mail's terminal, so now we can just go in from here. Not that there's really any reason to do so. It's so close to ours that it actually was just kind of out of the way now. He could not decode the data. This is because this was a key item, and so we've already gotten it. Why it's still here is a question. I have a lot of dash chips all of a sudden. Recov 10G. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh well. This is the unfortunate thing of early game. Is the fact that you have so many random chips, and so many of them weak, that unfortunately you can't do a lot. However, we will be getting a very powerful chip in just a minute. And no, it's not the cannon. Where is... What do I have in terms of a C code? Not much. This will not be as useful. And honestly, I don't need this. For right now. The reason I'm saving... Well, alright. Not yet. I'm surprised he's not there that early. I would have guessed that he would have activated. But anyway, power-ups. We're gonna need 5,000 for another. But meanwhile, HP memories. We may as well purchase at least 2. We'll save the other for later. The Cannon C you get here, there's really only one reason to get it. But we'll do that later. Now, the power-up you get is for one reason. You can power up your attack, your rapid, and your charge. The attack is exactly what it says. Your base attack. So in this case, once I use it, if I were to use it on the attack, my Mega Buster shot would go from 1 to 2. That can be useful, especially the more I powered up. Rapid is unfortunately the most useless of the bunch. It's just the speed at which you fire. Charge, however, is the one we're going to be using it on. And this is a perfect time to show it. Now, if you hold down the B button, Mega Man will begin charging. His Buster Shot will now do far more damage if you power it up to the maximum, which is the purple or pink shot that you saw. If you power it up just to the green shot, it only does a little bit of damage. Now, normally it's supposed to be times 10 of whatever your base shot is. However, it's a bit inconsistent in this game, as Mega Man leveling up seems to make his charge shots a bit stronger. But oh well. Whoops. But yes, having a charge shot can be very useful, especially if you have no more battle chips to work with. And it will be best to power up the attack and the charge as you go out and go throughout the game. Do it as much as you can. And that will access Dex's PC. That will be extremely useful for when we need to get deeper into the cyber world. I would like to check on something quite quickly. I'm surprised he's not able to be accessed yet. I would have thought he would be here. That'll work. $500. I can't remember what area it was in. Apparently not here. I'm getting a surprising amount of shockwaves. And a surprising amount of Zenny. Maybe it was down here. Actually, this is a good time to show off something. Buster Max Mode. This is something added into the Mega Man Legacy Collection. Buster Max Mode will power up your Mega Buster by, I believe it's times 100. In this case, this basically means I could just do this. Now, you should only be using Buster Max Mode if you're just trying to progress through the story as quickly as possible. Or in my case, just trying to get through the cyber world faster through these many random encounter battles. Now keep in mind, you can turn it on and off in the middle of battle. It is a good way for grinding as well if you need to. Huh. I guess he's not here. Odd. I will be trying to use that as little as possible. Only if I feel like I need to in order to conserve on time. Turn in for the day. Save the day's events. Okay. Saved. Good night, Lan. And with that, I feel like we'll call it a day for here on. Well, after this. Several days after the strange oven explosions. Who is howling? AC/DC Elementary, Den City. This is the place. Huh. Grin. Huh. Man, how come nobody woke me up? I did a few times, you just didn't get it. Oh, Lan, what time is it? You got 5 minutes. What about everyone else? They're already at school. Duh! Looks like everyone is already in the classroom. Mega Man, any new mail? Lan, didn't you hear what I just said? Better get to class, quick. Jeez, you have 2 new messages. The first is net news, student net crime on the rise. The other one's from Miss Yai. I called your name for you in homeroom, so you owe me one. That Yai. Ugh. Well, no point hurrying, I guess. Why do I even bother? Lan, check your mail again. Lan, are you late again? I called your name for you in homeroom, so you owe me one. Student net crime is on the rise at schools everywhere. The reasons for this rise are as yet unknown. And for that, I think we'll call it a part here. I do want to make this a series of going through this game and potentially the others. But for now, I've been recording for long enough. It's important to take your time throughout this game and not rush it. You know, not face tank enemies, try and plan out your strategies. But hopefully this will help someone if you're new to Mega Man Battle Network at all. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good day. I wish I had an easier way to stop this recording. But apparently this game doesn't like that. Anyway, thank you and have a good day. I'll see you next time for more Mega Man Battle Network. Have a good night.